Chronological Bible in a Year, day 115. We're back in Chronicles, and you can kind of see why we're jumping between Chronicles and Psalms. Ancestries can be boring, but if you are around the church a few decades back, one of these names may have stood out. In chapter 4, we meet Jabez. We're told he was more honorable than his brothers. He prayed that God would bless him, and God gave him that blessing. 2 verses is all we get for him, verse 9 and verse 10, and yet an entire book was written about this guy, the prayer of Jabez, and it took the church world by storm. Now, I honestly never read it, but I think a greater prayer than this one is the prayer we learn about in chapter 5. In chapter 5, we're told about the descendants of the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and half of Manasseh, these great warriors. And while in battle, it says they called out to God and asked for help, and God honored their prayer, and they defeated their enemies because they trusted him. We see an important truth here that their answer to prayer and their trust in God has a direct correlation. God answered their prayer because they trusted in God. But here's where this is equally fascinating. In verse 25, we're told, "But they were unfaithful to the God of their ancestors. They prostituted themselves with the gods of the nations God had destroyed before them. So the God of Israel aroused the spirit of King Pul, and he took the Reubenites, Gadites, and half the tribe of Manasseh into exile." These amazing warriors who had taken land and territory and victory in the name of God, at some point, their descendants turned. They had these amazing stories of success, but that turned into a story of utter failure. How is that better than the prayer of Jabez? Well, because it's a warning. I should learn that trust is what's really important. I should learn I need to trust God and follow God. Because if I quit trusting and following God, what's keeping me from the same exile? How do we honor and love God? How do we cherish and worship God? But here's a question for us today. Throw your answers down in the comments. What are the false gods that we are so tempted to prostitute ourselves with today? What are the things that pull us away from God and towards themselves? Throw 1 or 2 things, but with that, let's not just throw out bad news. What are 1 or 2 ways we can guard ourselves against those things? Let's encourage, support, and pray for one another in that way today. I'm looking forward to jumping back to the Psalms tomorrow. But until then, God bless.